Goodbye nights of torture and despair. You're there, lying in your bed, constantly tossing and turning because the itching simply won't stop. That burning sensation that seems to set your intimacy on fire and doesn't let you have a single moment of peace. During the day you try to maintain composure, smile at people, pretend everything is fine. But inside you're being consumed by shame, constant discomfort, wondering if anyone can perceive your silent suffering. You avoid wearing certain clothes because you know they'll irritate even more. Feel uncomfortable in intimate moments, are afraid to leave home on bad days. And what destroys you most is living in that constant anxiety, never knowing when the next crisis will explode and completely ruin your plans. You've been through this before, tried absolutely everything within your reach, spent fortunes on very expensive ointments that promised miracles, but were nothing but misleading advertising, swallowed pills that only turned your stomach and made the symptoms even worse, followed impossible restrictive diets that brought no lasting results, and every time you thought you had finally managed to control the situation, there came Candidiasis back stronger, more resistant, more persistent than before. It's as if your own body is waging an internal war against you, and you simply can't win this battle that has been dragging on for months, maybe even years of your life. What you haven't discovered yet is that there are 8 nighttime habits that are true poisons for those who have recurring candidiasis, and very likely you're doing at least 5 of them every night, without having the slightest idea of the devastating damage they're causing in your organism. International research shows that 92% of women with persistent candidiasis practice these nighttime habits regularly, keeping the fungus always active and increasingly resistant to any type of treatment. But there is a revolutionary nighttime routine that 98% of women are completely unaware of, and that could be the key to your definitive liberation. Today I'm going to reveal the 8 most dangerous nighttime habits that you need to eliminate urgently if you want to get rid of candidiasis definitively, with the last one being so surprising that it could be sabotaging your entire treatment without you even suspecting. If you've gotten this far, I know you're desperate for a real solution, a definitive way out of this torment that has dominated your life and stolen your peace of mind. You're not alone in this desperate fight. Here on the channel, we've already helped thousands of women who went through exactly the same hell you're living now, and they managed to completely recover their quality of life using natural methods that really work without devastating side effects. When you subscribe to the channel, you start receiving every week natural and accessible tips that really work in practice, solutions tested and approved by real women who suffered like you, methods to get immediate relief from symptoms without depending exclusively on medications that destroy your organism, guidance to drastically improve your quality of life and self-esteem, plus being part of an incredible community that understands you and supports you unconditionally on this healing journey. I literally dedicate my entire life to researching and sharing natural solutions for women's problems, especially those that traditional medicine sometimes can't completely solve or that only treat symptoms without attacking the root of the problem. Trust me when I say that the information you're going to discover here can change your life, in the same way it changed the lives of thousands of other women who today live completely free from recurring candidiasis. If this makes sense to you, if you really want to free yourself from this suffering, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any tip that could be the missing piece in your healing puzzle. My commitment is to help you recover your quality of life and well-being, using the transformative power of nature and conscious habits. Now let's get to what really matters, this revolutionary list that could be the key to your definitive cure. Before we begin, tell me here in the comments, do you usually have candidiasis symptoms more intense during the night or in the morning? And what is the most difficult nighttime habit you imagine having to change in your routine? I want to better understand the profile of those watching, because this helps me create even more specific content directed to your needs. Don't be ashamed to share your experiences. Here is a completely safe space of mutual support where we all understand each other. Number 8. Wearing synthetic or too tight underwear to sleep. Wearing synthetic or too tight underwear during sleep is one of the most devastating mistakes you can make if you have recurring candidiasis. But unfortunately, it's also one of the most common among women who suffer from this condition. Synthetic fabrics, like polyester, nylon, and elastane, don't allow your skin to breathe properly. creating a hot and humid microenvironment that is literally the perfect paradise for Candida albicans proliferation. During sleep, our body naturally increases body temperature and moisture production in the intimate region. And when you add synthetic fabrics that prevent ventilation, you're creating the ideal conditions for the fungus to multiply uncontrollably during the 7 to 8 hours you spend sleeping. The problem gets even worse when underwear is tight, because in addition to retaining moisture and heat, it causes microtraumas in the delicate vaginal mucosa through constant friction, creating small fissures that serve as entry points for secondary infections and allowing candidiasis to spread to adjacent areas. These microtraumas also reduce local blood circulation, compromising the arrival of defense cells and essential nutrients to fight the infection. A 2022 study published in the International Journal of Women's Health followed 347 women with recurring Candidiasis for 12 weeks, specifically analyzing their nighttime clothing habits. Participants who completely eliminated synthetic and tight underwear during sleep showed an 83% reduction in nighttime candidiasis episodes, 76% fewer itching and burning symptoms in the morning, and 89% improvement in sleep quality. The control group that maintained previous habits showed no significant improvement, and some participants reported worsening symptoms. To create the ideal nighttime environment for your healing, always opt for 100% organic cotton underwear, which is naturally breathable and absorbs moisture without retaining it against the skin. Choose models with comfortable fit that don't mark the body or cause compression in the pelvic region. An even better alternative is to sleep completely without underwear, allowing maximum air circulation and drastically reducing accumulated moisture. If you don't feel comfortable sleeping without panties, use loose cotton panties and change them for a clean one if you wake up during the night with excessive sweating. Number 7. Consuming sugar or refined carbohydrates in the 3 hours before. Sleep. Consuming sugar or refined carbohydrates in the 3 hours before sleep is like offering a nighttime banquet to Candida albicans, providing the perfect fuel for it to multiply uncontrollably while you sleep and can't take any measures to control the situation. During the nighttime period, our metabolism naturally slows down, making any consumed sugar remain circulating in the blood for much longer periods than during the day, when we're active and burn glucose faster through daily activities. This elevated blood sugar creates a systemically favorable environment for all types of fungi, but especially for Candida, which uses glucose as its preferred energy source for growth and reproduction. The problem becomes even more serious because, during sleep, our saliva production significantly decreases, reducing the mouth's natural cleaning capacity and creating an oral environment more conducive to oral candida growth, which is frequently connected with vaginal candidiasis through blood circulation and the lymphatic system. Additionally, nighttime sugar compromises sleep quality, causing glucose spikes and drops that result in nighttime awakenings, excessive sweating, and fragmented sleep, all factors that dramatically weaken the immune system. Researchers from the European Society of Mycology published a revolutionary 2021 study with 285 women with persistent candidiasis, specifically analyzing the impact of nighttime sugar consumption. After 10 weeks of completely eliminating sugar and refined carbohydrates in the 3 hours before sleep, 91% of participants reported significant reduction in morning candidiasis symptoms, 84% had fewer nighttime sweating episodes, 78% improved sleep quality, and 87% reduced the intensity of vaginal itching upon waking. Participants who continued consuming sugar before sleep maintained or worsened symptoms. To implement this transformative change, establish a strict limit of not consuming any type of sugar, including sweet fruits, juices, sweets, breads, pasta, or any refined carbohydrates after 6 p.m. if you sleep at 9 p.m., or always calculate 3 hours before your usual sleep time. If you feel hungry during this period, opt for lean proteins like boiled eggs, grilled chicken breast, or good fats like avocado, raw nuts in small quantities, or a small green salad with extra virgin olive oil. Always keep water or unsweetened herbal teas near the bed to hydrate if you wake up during the night. Number 6. Sleeping with sanitary pads or panty liners. Sleeping using sanitary pads or panty liners is a silent trap that could be perpetuating your candidiasis devastatingly, creating a perfect nighttime environment for fungal proliferation without you noticing the direct connection between this seemingly harmless habit and the persistence of your symptoms. Sanitary pads and panty liners, even those that call themselves breathable, are made with synthetic materials, chemical absorbent, gels and plastic layers that completely prevent natural ventilation of the vulvar region. During the long hours of sleep, these products accumulate moisture, heat, and natural secretions, creating a microenvironment that replicates exactly the conditions that Candida albicans loves most to reproduce exponentially. The problem worsens because many women use thicker and more absorbent nighttime pads believing this will bring more comfort and protection, but they're actually creating a biological greenhouse where fungi, pathogenic bacteria, and other harmful microorganisms can thrive freely. Additionally, the chemicals present in these pads, including bleaches, synthetic fragrances, and preservatives, cause chemical irritation in the vaginal mucosa already sensitized by candidiasis, creating microinflammations that further facilitate fungal penetration and proliferation. 2020 study published in the Journal of Feminine Hygiene Research followed 198 women with recurring candidiasis who had the habit of sleeping with panty liners or sanitary pads. During 8 weeks, half the group completely eliminated nighttime use of these products while the other half maintained usual habits. The group that eliminated nighttime pads showed 79% reduction in candidiasis episodes, 85% less abnormal morning discharge, 72% decrease in nighttime itching, and 81% improvement in vaginal odor. The control group not only maintained symptoms, but 34% of participants reported worsening symptoms during the study period. To break this destructive cycle, immediately stop using any type of pad, panty liner, or similar product during sleep, allowing your intimate region to breathe naturally throughout the night. If you have excessive discharge that bothers you, use only organic cotton panties and change for a clean one if necessary during the night. Wash the intimate region only with warm water before sleeping, avoiding soaps, douches, or any chemical products. If discharge is very intense, consult a healthcare professional, but never try to smother the problem with pads that will only worsen the situation long term. Number 5. Taking very hot baths. Before sleep, taking very hot baths in the hours before. Sleep is a habit that could be drastically sabotaging your candidiasis treatment, creating physiological conditions that favor fungal proliferation, precisely when your body should be preparing for the natural healing process that happens during restorative sleep. Very hot water causes extreme vasodilation in the pelvic region, significantly increasing blood flow and local temperature, creating exactly the heated and humid environment that Candida albicans needs to multiply rapidly. Additionally, hot water excessively removes the natural protective oils from skin and mucous membranes, compromising the natural defense barrier that prevents pathogenic microorganism penetration. Excessive heat also dilates pores and hair follicles in the intimate region, allowing fungi and bacteria to penetrate deeper into tissues, establishing more resistant and difficult to eliminate infections. During prolonged hot bathing, excessive moisture is retained in the vulvar region, and when you get out of the bath and dress, this moisture remains trapped against the skin for hours, maintaining the ideal environment for fungal growth throughout the night. Scientists from the International Institute of Dermatological Research published a 2022 study with 263 women with chronic candidiasis, specifically investigating the relationship between nighttime bathwater temperature and symptom intensity. Participants who reduced nighttime bath temperature to warm or cool for 6 weeks showed 74% fewer nighttime itching episodes, 68% reduction in morning discharge, 82% improvement in vulvar irritation, and 71% fewer nighttime awakenings due to intimate discomfort. Women who maintained hot baths showed no significant improvement, and some reported intensification of symptoms. To transform your nighttime bath into a healing ally, always use warm or slightly cool water, especially when rinsing the intimate region. Limit bath time to a maximum of 10 minutes to avoid excessive moisture exposure. After bathing, completely dry the intimate region with a clean and soft towel, paying special attention to skin folds where moisture can accumulate. Allow the region to breathe for a few minutes before dressing, and opt for loose and breathable clothing. If possible, end the bath with a cold water rinse in the intimate region, as this contracts blood vessels, reduces local inflammation, and creates a less favorable environment for fungi. But before continuing with the 4 most dangerous habits on the list, if this content is really useful to you, leave your like on the video so more women can have access to this information that can literally transform their lives. And if you know someone who suffers from recurring candidiasis, share this information with her, because quality information is always the first step toward definitive and lasting healing. Number 4. Using industrial intimate hygiene products. Before sleep, using industrial intimate hygiene products before sleep is one of the most devastating mistakes you can make, as these products contain a true chemical bomb of substances that completely destroy the natural balance of vaginal flora, precisely when your body needs peace to regenerate during sleep. Intimate soaps, wet wipes, vaginal douches, intimate deodorants, and other similar products contain parabens, sulfates, synthetic fragrances, chemical preservatives, and foaming agents that are extremely aggressive to the vaginal mucosa, which is naturally more sensitive and permeable than the skin of the rest of the body. These chemicals not only kill the beneficial bacteria that protect against candidiasis, but also drastically alter vaginal pH, creating an alkaline environment that favors pathogenic fungi proliferation. The problem becomes even more serious at night because these chemical residues remain in direct contact with your intimate mucosa for 7 to 8 consecutive hours, causing chronic irritation, microinflammations, and progressive tissue sensitization. Many women develop a kind of addiction to these products, believing that the cleaner and more perfumed the intimate region becomes, the better it will be for fighting candidiasis. But in reality, they're creating a vicious cycle where chemical products cause more irritation, which generates more discharge and odor, leading to the use of even more aggressive products. Researchers from the European Center for Vaginal Health published a comprehensive 2021 study with 412 women with recurring candidiasis who regularly used industrial intimate hygiene products. During 14 weeks, one group completely eliminated these products and began using only warm water for nighttime hygiene, while the control group maintained usual habits. The group that eliminated chemical products showed 88% reduction in candidiasis episodes, 92% improvement in vaginal pH, 76% less irritation and itching, 84% reduction in abnormal discharge, and 79% of participants reported they never had recurring candidiasis again after the study period. To revolutionize your nighttime intimate hygiene, immediately eliminate all industrial products and use only running warm water to wash the external vulva area before sleep. Avoid soaps of any kind, including those that call themselves specific for the intimate region. If you occasionally feel the need to use some product, opt for neutral pure glycerin soap or artisanal coconut soap, but use only in the external area and rinse thoroughly. Never use vaginal douches, wet wipes, or perfumed products. Remember that the vagina is self-cleaning and has its own hygienization mechanisms that work perfectly when not interfered with by aggressive chemicals. Number 3. Sleeping in an environment with excessive humidity. Sleeping in an environment with excessive humidity is like turning your room into a giant incubator for Candida albicans, creating environmental conditions that make the fungus reproduce, not only in your intimate region, but also colonize your respiratory system, skin, and other body mucous membranes during the vulnerable hours of sleep. Environments with relative air humidity above 60% provide the perfect habitat for all types of fungi and molds, which release microscopic spores into the air you breathe all night long. These fungal spores, when continuously inhaled, overload your immune system and can cause systemic candidiasis, a much more serious and difficult to treat condition than localized candidiasis. Excessive humidity also makes you sweat more during sleep, creating humid microenvironments in all body folds, especially in the intimate region, armpits, breasts, and between toes. This excessive sweating not only feeds existing candidiasis, but can also spread the infection to other body areas that would normally be protected. Additionally, very humid environments favor mite growth, which produce toxins that further weaken the immune system, making your organism less capable of naturally fighting fungal infections. An innovative 2023 study published in the International Journal of Environmental Health monitored 287 women with persistent candidiasis in their residences for 12 weeks, daily measuring room humidity and correlating with symptom intensity. Participants who maintained room relative humidity between 40–50% showed 86% fewer nighttime candidiasis episodes, 79% reduction in associated respiratory symptoms, 91% improvement in sleep quality, and 74% of participants had no candidiasis relapses during 6 months of follow-up. The group that slept in environments with humidity above 65% had significant symptom worsening, with some developing secondary oral and cutaneous candidiasis. To create the ideal nighttime environment for your healing, invest in a dehumidifier. To keep your room's relative humidity always between 40–50%, especially during the more humid months of the year, use a digital hygrometer to constantly monitor humidity levels and make adjustments when necessary. Maintain adequate ventilation in the room, but avoid direct air currents over your body during sleep. If you can't get a dehumidifier immediately, use fans to circulate air, avoid drying clothes in the room, keep plants away from the sleeping environment, and consider using silica gel sachets or activated charcoal to absorb excessive moisture. During hot baths, always keep the bathroom door closed and use the exhaust fan to prevent humidity from spreading to the bedroom. Number 2. Consuming alcohol in the 4 hours before sleep. Consuming any amount of alcohol in the 4 hours before sleep is one of the most destructive habits for those who have candidiasis, because alcohol is metabolized by the liver into acetaldehyde, exactly the same toxin that Candida albicans produces when it's active in your organism. This means that when you drink alcohol before sleep, you're doubling the toxic load in your body precisely when it should be detoxifying and regenerating during restorative sleep. Acetaldehyde is a potent neurotoxin that causes systemic inflammation, drastically compromises immune function, damages cell membranes, and creates an internal environment highly favorable for the proliferation of all types of fungi and pathogenic microorganisms. During sleep, your liver works intensively to process and eliminate toxins accumulated during the day. But when you add alcohol to the system, this entire process becomes overloaded and compromised. Alcohol also destroys beneficial intestinal bacteria, which are fundamental for keeping Candida under control, dramatically alters blood sugar levels, causing glucose spikes and drops that directly feed the fungus, and compromises REM sleep quality, which is when your immune system rebuilds and strengthens to fight infections. Scientists from the Global Institute of Addiction and Mycology published a revealing 2022 study with 356 women with chronic candidiasis who regularly consumed alcohol before sleep. During 16 weeks, one group completely eliminated alcohol in the 4 hours before sleep, while the control group maintained usual habits. The group that eliminated nighttime alcohol showed extraordinary results: 94% reduction in candidiasis episodes, 89% improvement in liver function, 87% reduction in blood acetaldehyde levels, 92% improvement in sleep quality, and 85% of participants had no more recurring candidiasis during 8 months of post-study follow-up. The control group not only maintained symptoms, but 67% of participants developed more severe systemic candidiasis. To implement this transformative change, establish an inflexible rule of not consuming any type of alcohol after 6 p.m. if you sleep at 10 p.m., or always calculate 4 hours before your usual sleep time. This includes wine, beer, spirits, and even products containing alcohol like culinary extracts or alcohol-based medications. If you have the habit of drinking wine at dinner or beer after work, move these habits earlier in the day, or replace with healthy alternatives like naturally flavored waters, relaxing herbal teas, or vegetable juices without sugar. Remember that even a single dose of alcohol can compromise your immune system for up to 24 hours, so complete abstinence during candidiasis treatment is fundamental for effective results. Number 1. Sleeping less than 7 hours per night. We arrive at the most devastating and surprising habit of all. Sleeping less than 7 hours per night is literally the silent saboteur that could be destroying all your efforts to heal from candidiasis. because inadequate sleep compromises your immune system so drastically that it makes it impossible for your body to effectively fight any type of fungal infection, no matter how many treatments you do or how rigorously you follow other recommendations. During deep sleep, especially in phases 3 and 4 of non-REM sleep, your body produces the greatest amount of T cells and natural killer cells, which are the specialized soldiers of your immune system responsible for identifying and destroying fungi, like Candida albicans. When you sleep less than 7 hours, the production of these cells decreases by up to 70%, leaving your organism practically defenseless against fungal infections. Sleep deprivation also drastically elevates cortisol levels, the stress hormone, which has a potent immunosuppressive effect and directly feeds candidiasis by elevating blood sugar levels and creating chronic systemic inflammation. Additionally, sleeping little compromises melatonin production, a powerful antioxidant that not only regulates sleep, but also has direct antifungal properties and helps repair cellular damage caused by Candida toxins. Inadequate sleep also completely deregulates the production of leptin and ghrelin, hormones that control hunger and satiety, leading to intense cravings for sugar and carbohydrates, which are exactly the foods that most feed candidiasis. A revolutionary 2023 study published in the Sleep Medicine and Immunology Journal followed 445 women with recurring candidiasis for 20 weeks, rigorously monitoring their sleep patterns through polysomnography and correlating with laboratory tests of immune function and fungal loads. Participants who consistently maintained 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night showed absolutely extraordinary results. 96% complete elimination of candidiasis symptoms, 91% improvement in general immune function, 89% reduction in cortisol levels, 94% of participants had no relapses during 12 months of follow-up, 87% reported significant improvement in energy and disposition, and 82% lost weight naturally without dieting. The group that maintained less than 6 hours of sleep per night not only didn't improve, but 78% developed systemic candidiasis and other opportunistic infections. To implement this change that could be the key to your definitive healing, establish a fixed time to sleep and wake up every day, including weekends, creating a sleep ritual that begins 1 hour before lying down. Turn off all electronic devices at least 1 hour before sleep, as blue light interferes with melatonin production. Create an ideal sleep environment. Dark, quiet, cool room, between 18 to 21 degrees, and invest in a quality mattress and pillows. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m., intense exercises 3 hours before sleep, and heavy meals 2 hours before lying down. If you have difficulty falling asleep, practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or reading physical books. Consider natural melatonin supplementation under professional guidance if necessary, but always prioritize natural sleep hygiene. Now you know the 8 most dangerous nighttime habits that could be sabotaging your candidiasis treatment. Wearing synthetic or tight underwear to sleep, consuming sugar or refined carbohydrates in the 3 hours before sleep, sleeping with sanitary pads or panty liners, taking very hot baths before sleep, using industrial intimate hygiene products before sleep, sleeping in an environment with excessive humidity, consuming alcohol in the 4 hours before sleep, and the most devastating of all, sleeping less than 7 hours per night. Remember that these are natural strategies based on solid scientific evidence. They are not medical prescriptions, and you should always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making significant changes in your nighttime habits or lifestyle. If you've gotten this far, this demonstrates that you're really committed to your healing and well-being, and that you're not willing to accept living the rest of your life suffering from recurring candidiasis that steals your peace and quality of life. Eliminating these destructive habits may seem challenging at first, especially if you've been practicing them for years without noticing the connection with your symptoms. But the extraordinary results you're going to achieve compensate for any temporary effort you need to make. Thousands of women have already completely transformed their lives following exactly these guidelines, creating nighttime routines that actively support their healing instead of sabotaging it, and you can be the next success story that inspires other women on this journey. Tell me here in the comments which of these nighttime habits surprised you most and which you think will be most challenging to change in your current routine. Your experience and honesty can help other women who are going through the same desperate situation you've already faced. Also share if you've already noticed any connection between your nighttime habits and the intensity of morning symptoms, because these personal observations are fundamental to validate the effectiveness of these natural strategies. And if you really liked this transformative content and feel it can change your life, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more natural strategies that can revolutionize not only your intimate health, but your quality of life as a whole. Share this video with other women you know are suffering silently with recurring candidiasis, because quality information is always the first and most important step toward definitive liberation from this suffering that has dominated so many female lives. In upcoming videos, I'll share with you the complete protocol of morning anti-candidiasis routine that perfectly complements these nighttime changes, plus revealing the 10 most powerful foods that can accelerate your healing naturally and definitively. I'll also teach specific breathing and relaxation techniques that can reduce stress and strengthen your immune system, because we know that chronic stress is one of the main factors that keeps candidiasis active and resistant to treatments. Always, remember, you're not alone on this healing path, and with the right information, determination, and consistency, it's absolutely possible to live completely free from recurring candidiasis forever. Your health, your well-being, your peace of mind, and your happiness deserve all the care and attention in the world. You deserve peaceful nights, mornings without discomfort, and the freedom to live your life fully without fear or shame. Take care of yourself with tenderness. Be patient with yourself during this transformation process and trust that every small change you make is bringing you closer to the definitive healing you so seek. Until the next video, and may your nights be increasingly restorative and free from any discomfort.